States. That was 2014, 15, one of those years.
All right. So yeah, 10 years ago.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada at the moment, and I teach mindfulness and meditation. I remember the friendships that I made, and the kind of camaraderie and community of all of these, young men in various states of confusion and turmoil, trying to figure out what they wanted in life and feeling supported and held, much of the time within
Mhm.
the structure of the bridge. But there was in that a kind of we're all in this together, even if we're not always getting along all of the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was that seemed we seemed most everybody came back to that. I mean, within that environment of kind of challenge and interpersonal friction, and also good times, laughter, um, working together, playing together. I learned an incredible amount about myself and about other people, how to relate, and how to organize my mind and my life in that kind of communal setting, and regulate myself so that I could show up, and uh, be more helpful than not. I think the shared activities, just the provision of some kind of structure, um, of this is happening at this time and we're all doing it together, and we're doing the same thing again tomorrow. It's like a surface. I don't know. I'm thinking of like rock climbing. It's like here's the wall every day of everyone you're living with and whatever the activities are of the day, and you have to get up. You have to get up to the top of the wall, and maybe it's the same wall, maybe it's a little bit of a different wall, but every day you are navigating the obstacle,
Mhm.
and you can iterate and improve and learn and grow and strengthen a container for growth, challenge, and repetitive, progressive learning and training, in how to be a person in this world, and do some good for yourself and others. We would go out into the community and help refurbish or build, with our limited experience in construction. We would do our best to build something to be
Mhm.
of help and service in the community, and getting to having a window into other people's lives and worlds, being invited in to have food and talk, and learn the language to whatever poor extent I managed in the time that I was there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then do something useful, constructive. Growing up Christian, the idea of service, of being of service, coming from a loving place, that was instilled in me from an early age, and was always something that I thought I ought to do. And then having my own struggles and difficulties in adolescence, um, I didn't feel resourced at all to do anything for benefit of myself or anyone for
Mhm.
for a long while. um, but so having opportunities to do something simple, and of value, of service, felt like kind of reclaiming of a certain aspect of identity, purpose, meaning, that had been lacking from my life for a while. Um, and as for the window into someone else's life, I mean, it's so informative to have that comparison and contrast, and also, um, invitation from people whose life circumstances are so different from your own. Uh, you see your own life, um, your own privileges, your own affordances very differently when you understand how varied the human experience is, actually, and not just reading about it in a book or watching something. Yeah, that also definitely informed my choice to for a while pursue a radically non-consumptive
Yeah, yeah.
lifestyle in monasticism, and then later living on a commune. the physicality of the bridge program in a lot of aspects, the kind of work and the service projects. I think that was also a big part of what was healing and helpful about the wilderness therapy, was getting me out of my head into the embodied experience of movement, of exercise, or a real confidence in my ability to navigate and determine what was good for me, and to trust that, develop an embodied sense of it, day by day, in that kind of iterative process that I mentioned earlier. Mm, navigating systems and making choices about how to spend my time, and how to relate, and just a lot of time and space to really deeply consider what what is this life? What is it? What am I going to make use of it in service of? Uh, that all that all weighed heavily, and I came out of the bridge, I think, with uh, much more confidence that I could figure that out and do something about it. I didn't feel directed in any, but here is this container, here's this opportunity to explore, and iterate and figure out how to live well in this kind of supported and contained environment, that then you can, it's a springboard for the rest of your life. I think because of my experience of awful depression, I was interested to see the other side of that in life, and I kind of wanted to get at the root of well-being. Really wanted to get to grips with the problem of suffering in my own mind and body and heart, and threw myself into that in kind of contemplative training, in classical Buddhist uh, models. Mm. And most most everything that I myself have fixated on, and I see other people fixating on as determinants of well-being, uh, are not as important as I think they're made out to be. Right? Basic, simple stuff that everyone will agree on. Physical health, exercise, regular sleep, being well rested, a good diet. These are foundational, right? And if that's not in place, the rest is much, much, much more difficult. Um, I think the degree to which almost everyone is overstimulated, and this is something I'm still negotiating day to day with the work that I do, which is mostly in front of a computer and involves some social media stuff, and then also navigating these kind of super stimulating technologies that we all have access to all the time. I think it's really unhealthy for the most part, and I notice clearly that that was a major contributor to my own dysfunction and ill-being earlier in life. Um, I don't think we, as a culture globally, have really established wise relationship to the incredible tools that we have, and that happiness is more a subtractive process than an additive one.
Say more about that. I think that's good.
um, it turns out, you can run the experiment yourself, that taking away, not taking away, letting go of involvement and fixation on the particulars of circumstance, and attachment, not in like the developmental psychological sense. You need that. That's good. Human relationship, connection, community, incredibly important. Not what I'm talking about. But like moment to moment kind of latching of the mind to the objects of experience. Um, Letting all of that go to a greater and greater extent feels better than acquiring or enjoying any particular experience. I've been incredibly fortunate to have enjoyed amazing food, uh, had wonderful relationships, traveled, seen beautiful things. And nothing beats letting go.